classic movie scenes that suggest the dad may not be the best person to have in the delivery room. And that's why we're making rounds on today. Childbirth. Yep. And who should be there? Back in the early 1960s, only 50% of hospitals in the United States even allowed dads in the birthing room. Fast forward to the 1980s, yep, complete reversal, 80 to 85% made room for daddy. And in the 1990s, 8 out of 10 men were there to see their children enter the world. Joining me now by phone from London, Dr. Michel Audant, who says that the birth environment has become masculinized and that it's not really very good for women. From Cleveland, Dr. Marjorie Greenfield, an obstetrician and gynecologist at University Hospital's Case Medical Center, and from Washington, D.C., Ken Gosnell, Associate Vice President of National Programming for the National Fatherhood Initiative, and he just witnessed his own youngest child's birth 16 months ago. I'm going to go to our phoner first. Dr. Audant, you wrote something that just frankly cracked me up. Ideal birth environment involves no men in general. Should men not be in the delivery room at all? And in case we have lost Dr. Audant, and I'm not sure we have, Dr. Audant? All right, Marjorie, I'm going to go to you because you delivered babies. You've seen it all. Is he right?
Seen it all.
Is he right?
Right. Yeah, and we've certainly seen both extremes. I've seen times where I thought, oh, maybe this dad should not have been here. But also so many times where it's so meaningful to the father and meaningful to the mom that he was there that I would hate to have people lose that opportunity.
Ken, let's just get to the reality of this, because it seems to me so much of it comes down to what we talk about, the Madonna horror complex. You take something that's a sexual, wonderful part of life, and all of a sudden it becomes medicalized, and you see things from a very different vantage point. Did your life change after you witnessed your child being born?
Oh, absolutely. My wife had 9 months as she bonded with the baby, which was a tremendous experience for her. But when I was in the delivery room and was able to see the first moment of the baby's life, it was just that wonderful bonding experience that will last with me forever.
And in a good way?
Oh, absolutely.
Has it changed the sexuality in your marriage?
No, I don't believe so at all. I think, it was one of those things that we were able to do it together, and obviously my wife had her part, and she did a fantastic job and is a tremendous mother. And then I was able to do my part and be there at the very beginning stages of my child's life.
Marjorie, you alluded to the fact that sometimes, frankly, men make things more difficult. Give me some examples in your medical experience when, frankly, you would have liked men to have stayed out of the DR.
Well, actually, I heard just this week on our labor and delivery unit, 2 different dads fainted.
They fainted?
So, that ends up, all the attention then gets on the father and the attention goes off of the mother. And I'm sure he was embarrassed, and I'm sure the mom wasn't that supported by that experience. So, when a dad really isn't prepared to be there and isn't comfortable with it, it's really unfortunate that he feels so pressured to be there.
But Marjorie, isn't that the whole part of this, the whole sort of woo-woo aspect of coming to the hospital, meeting your doctor, getting the tour, so that men become a little desensitized and they're sort of up for the challenge?
Well, but everybody's different, and there are different relationships between the man and the woman. Some women feel incredibly supported by their partners. Others, that may not be their relationship, and it may not feel comfortable to have him there for such a kind of gross and icky time.
Well, it cracks me up that men faint because men never faint after they've had sex. They just faint for the delivery.
Hey, Dr. Nancy,
yes.
We at the National Fatherhood Initiative at www.fatherhood.org, we recognize that it's important for the father to be there at the early stages, and statistics show that even that a dad can be there while his child is being born in the delivery room, that it really helps the health of the baby, and it really is important to him, and statistically he's going to be more involved in that child's life, not just during the early years, but all throughout that child's life.
Good point, and I'm glad you didn't faint on either end of the reproductive end, Ken.
I appreciate it.
You're a stand-up guy. Ken, thanks so much. Marjorie, always good to see you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.